Hello everybody. How you all doing? I hope you are doing well. Let me know the sound is fine, everything's good, everything's working. Continuing with my new setup. In a week I'm gonna also have a new mic, so I'm very excited about it. So how are you all doing? And I want to ask a question, okay? Because sometimes there are things that are confusing to me. My question is simple. Is it me or there are people fighting back? Is it me or is it just that I trained my algorithm to bring me things that satisfy me, like seeing people exposing their reality on the ground and everything that is happening? Now, I know I said before, talking and doing is not the same thing, but the conversation I'm seeing right now is a lot more do oriented than anything I've seen before. And therefore, I feel that even though there is a lot of weird things going on, there is actually a real shift. So is it me? Is it just me training my algorithm? Is it me applying the fact that the Israeli right started fighting back? And I just like, okay, if it happened locally, it must have happened globally. So I'm trying to understand what biases am I suffering from here? Is it algorithmic echo chamber? Is it applying the local transition? Like, because in Israel there is an objective shift when the Israeli on the right started speaking up against the left on the most mainstream way, including celebrities saying, hey, I'm not going to participate in your woke shit anymore, which is not woke the way the rest of the world is, but it's more like the Bibi derangement syndrome or the no channel 14, which is like the Israeli Fox News kind of channel, derangement syndrome, things like that. So am I applying a bias here, or is there something different that is happening? So you're right. Talking is not created something. Only if they create facts on the ground. I hope they do at least. So the reason I feel like there is a difference because in Israel there is a lot of doing on the ground. But this is what I'm fearing because like me getting excited about the shift inside of Israel, how all those underground currents are now waves that are sweeping through the society. Maybe I'm just applying my local bias globally. So I feel this is like that. It has to be the same way everywhere. Since it happens here, it must happen everywhere. But maybe we're ahead of a curve. We're not usually ahead of the curve, so I'm asking. The other thing is it could be that I just trained my algorithm to see things that would make me happy. Hello. Hello, my Christian and Jew brothers. I am an atheist. Cool. So why wouldn't you say hello to your atheist brothers as well? Hello. How's everybody doing? Yes, I am very good. So actually, it was a hot day today. Where? Because in Israel it wasn't too hot today. Actually, it was very nice weather today, and I was outside, so I should know. The Syrians did not ask, as they came to Germany too, so we can send them up without asking them. Well, I guess the Asharia parade was all for naught. What were they like, Germany? I don't know. I feel like there is, now that we have the internet, now that we have global communication, I feel it's time for us to actually try to communicate in a way where we can bridge our differences. For ejemplo, if you invite a Sharia, right, and you want to send a message, I have some thoughts. Most of them would get censored by YouTube. Maybe I need to take it to another direction. How do I do it? Yes, thank you, Greg. Don't forget to smash the like button. It is 100% free. By the way, I have to say, Kul Kalbi Giomu, every dog comes his day, and Israel is now continuing with its, the Nazi list that is just removing one person at a time. So they are doing and continuing that. The meticulously, impressively. I really love it. The Gazans are not the same Gazans anymore. Consequences change people's minds a lot, which is amazing. And we need to think, it's time for us to acknowledge reality and be like, what do we do? What do we do? You guys, what do we do? If the world is global, and one of the guys, I saw that 2 people purchased my workbook that I had for the course. In the last section, probably those 2 guys, I don't know if you guys got there. The last segment, there is a segment on the Tower of Babel, like Migdal Bavel. Babylon Tower, I don't know how you say it. Sorry, my English sometimes breaks. And in there is a segment that asks this question. Now that we have AI, now that we have, all those technologies, in theory, we can speak the same language, right? We can all communicate in a language we speak. And my question there was, if we all can speak the same language, can we really understand each other? Or do we still speak different languages? And that's like a question and that you're supposed to be answering. And I think you guys know what my inclination is. My inclination is, as I'm saying time and time again, you cannot communicate to a Western audience the same way you do to Eastern audience, even if you speak the same language. So I am drinking tea, sir. I am drinking tea. Thank you for your concern. And this is where we're at. So there is this thing, and for those who bought the workbook and did not get there yet, believe me, the questions are a bit more sophisticated there. And you know what's gonna be fun? As we are here. I feel like we are having a rather intimate conversation right now, since it's a random chat we are having. What did you ever experience? Do you have an experience that you can share with us where you spoke the same language and realized that maybe not? And you are absolutely correct, because here is another question, right? Can somebody with a certain type of mind speak in the same language as someone with a different type of mind? Do they really speak the same language? For ejemplo. So everything nice to the West is lame to the Middle Eastern view. Not necessarily. Sometimes it has the exact opposite effect, where the Middle East also there are 2 elements here, right? There are 2 things that you need to keep in mind when it comes to the Middle East. There is one part, which are brain dead zombies that you need to make sure are terrified. And then there is the other part, the people who don't like the brain dead zombies. And yet they don't necessarily understand what they're missing. And then when you demonstrate kindness, warmth, love, something they don't experience in their day-to-day lives, you expose them to something that makes it impossible for them not to want to help you out with a zombie apocalypse situation. And that's how you get people inside different places help you out. It's very much like, carrot and stick. No mercy for the people who deserve the stick, and warmth, love, kindness, and merit appreciation for those who deserve the carrot. Something they don't don't have in the Middle East. Um, okay, so speaking of Canada, Australia, have you guys seen that? Have you guys seen that? A 14-year-old Jewish girl is missing in Toronto, while volunteers search desperately to bring her home. Anti Semites are reportedly tearing down the posters meant to help find her because she is Jewish. What kind of hatred makes someone look at missing girl's face, decide that even she does not deserve compassion? Like, I mean, she is not Israeli, right? She is in Canada. How do that report missing girl? How do they know she's Esti? I guess from her name. From is that how you know? You guys, do you know that she's Jewish just from the name Esti? Is that the thing? What the heck? But there is something very like here. People are just tearing the posters like they did with the hostage. Like what the heck? What? What is this? What is it, Canada? Why? What's going on, Canada? Hmm? So, Charlie, why do I feel like, are you Canadian? Am I mistaken? I feel like you're Canadian. How is Canada doing? I really wondering. Okay, can I share with you something that is a bit like from behind the scenes? Yeah, she's extremely young. Canada, something is wrong with Canada. Like very weird, very wrong with Canada. Um, can I share with you something from behind the scenes? There are a lot of people who are trying to do a similar project, right? So we've been talking that talking and doing is not the same thing. And yet people, one of the greatest problems people easily see is that there is a lot of, because there is so much information, it's really hard to spot the whatever is happening, the narratives that are being sold, and what are people believing right now, what they don't. And I know several people who try to address this problem, understanding, okay, what's the narrative right now? What are people saying? And just to be able to be on top of things. Can I be I don't want to be completely honest with you, but this is, first of all, to me, this is such a yesterday's thinking. Like instead of thinking of what is the narrative now, what do we need to debunk, you need to create a narrative. And I'm so tired of this mindset of, okay, let's be on top of things. No, let's not. Every moment somebody invents a different BS that basically all have the same answer. Mind your own business, you little piece of shit. It's very, very concise and easy to explain that what happens in the Middle East is probably none of your business. So do something that is more productive with your life. That is so much easier than trying to debunk whatever. There are people suffering everywhere in the world. So do something about the situation in your neighborhood first. And then after that, if you have like an intelligent argument, then maybe let's talk. Because it's time for us to apply the best way to communicate with people that lost their minds. They say something stupid, you punch them. Like, that's it. That's all I have to say. Like, it's just somebody that comes to you and says, oh, Israel this and that. And it's like, we as America, we have like every moment we waste on talking about Israel this, Israel that. We are losing because we are supposed to be talking about how do we get this and that, like how do we get rare earth minerals, which is a very interesting situation that India and the United States just signed a rare earth agreement, which is very exciting. I didn't yet look at the details because there are a lot of different elements in earth that needs to be, extracted, refined, and processed. So it is very. And so there is so much more to talk about. And for some reason, like just talking about the same talking points again and again and again. Yeah, Israel is evil, blah, blah, blah. Fine, Israel is evil. Like, I just can't wait for somebody just to say, okay, let's say Israel would not exist where Israel is at. Can anyone just lay out the fact that like Israel, like the drinking water that people enjoy in this area is thanks to Israel. The gas is thanks to Israel. A lot of the infrastructure is thanks to Israel. If Israel is gone, Egypt is gone, Jordan is gone. And then Turkey and Saudi can have it at it, and Turkey can march into Mecca and stuff. Like, what? Like, what? Like, what about that? It's like, what's the alternative? It's so much easier, right? Okay, let's nuke Israel, but then what would happen? I was like, okay, so the alternative is better or worse? That's where I want to be at in this world. So this is why I struggle a little bit with this notion of let's track what is the stupid story and narratives people are busy with right now instead of just punching them in the face, which is like a shortcut. That means that you don't even need to follow anything. It's pretty easy, very easy. It's like, okay, let's dedicate the amount of time on Israel as in that is in the same percentage of time as it is the budget, whatever, but like percentage of budget of the America is, or the size of Israel, or something that makes sense, I don't know. Anyway, but here's what I'm actually kind of annoyed with, especially now with AI, is that, all right, so several people come to me and say, here's my project, basically the same project. And some people have better ideas on how to do it. Some better people have, but it's the same thing. Let's understand what's going on in the world. Let's track what's going on. Let's try to put people that are problematic in a situation where they cannot continue doing what they're doing, whatever it is. Or let's give people the knowledge they need to deal with whatever stupid idea is now the most popular. It's basically the same idea that was suggested by Charlie Kirk. You guys remember in his letter to Netanyahu? What Charlie Kirk suggested in this letter in Netanyahu is what everybody thinks is an original idea right now, and this is the project that they want to run. I read this and I thought it was a waste of time to begin with. It just shows a lack of leadership. It's just like instead of setting boundaries, you just want to join pigs in mud and just like why? But whatever. And the thing right now is that like I'm an engineer, okay? I studied in the Technion. I have a computer engineering degree. I did databases. I worked on queries. I did machine learning before it was cool. And then I switched on October 7th to doing what I'm doing. But, I have some basic, very basic, maybe outdated, but, some knowledge on how to structure data and what kind of questions you need to ask before you say, hey, let's track narratives. And these people I talk with, right? And they're like, oh yeah, I built this amazing system with AI and everything. So, and then I'm telling you, okay, so what is the schema? Okay, so show me the schema. Like, what is the update loop? What is the storage cost? What is the whatever? It's like just like is it not something you need to be able to do? Like something. Aleph. And then it's like it's not even about like being too sophisticated. It's just the fact that you need to be able to do something that AI doesn't automatically do. So you need to do it fast. You need to recognize narratives. You need to do something that is a bit more. It's not that simple. And then I tell them that, and and here's the conversation I'm having. for some reason, some think that they can do the schematics. And I'm like, are you an engineer? And they're like, no, but I know what I want. I say, like, why would you limit yourself? You come to an engineer and tell them, here is what I want. And when you describe what you want, describe the most crazy lunatic, like your most like biggest dream of what you wish you can do. And then let them struggle. Let the engineer struggle. Instead of you deciding and defining what is possible, what's not. Let the engineer do that. This is what engineers are for. I'm telling you, trying to make this point is like, why? Like, you come, and then I was like, you have an engineering team, and you start telling them, here's what you do. You go to this source, and you scrape this and that. You store it like this. And I was like, listen, you're talking to engineers. It's insulting. It's their job. They might, like, you don't, like, just tell them what you want. And they try to get it. And like, I was in a meeting like that, and I think, all right, sir, like, what is the user experience? And I'm telling you, write the user experience, write what you want people to be able to do, because I'm telling you, I was like, you need to understand, right? This is one person. I'm talking about, like, this is one person. You need to understand, what do people see? How fast do they need to understand the data? When does something become stale? What are the use cases? Okay. I'm telling you, useless. And it's like, at some point it's like, I'm telling them, there is something offensive about it. Engineers study to be engineers. It's not something you wake up and do in an hour. Okay. So why is it so hard to just respect people's knowledge and expertise and why? And it's like, I don't know, like, AI did that so fast. It's shocking to me. No wonder, like, people, who needs engineers now? And I'm looking at what people are building. It's like, you need engineers not because you need somebody who writes code. You need engineers because you don't have any logic. You don't have logic. You don't have, like, no. You don't know how to you don't know how to query. You don't know what queries are. You don't know what technical questions to ask. You don't know what to ask. And here's another conversation. Similar idea, beautiful setup, way better. This person actually knows user experience, actually understands, like, okay, you need to actually, like, has a very good idea of what needs to be served, which is incredible. That's wow. Okay, that's good. Do I still think punching somebody is better? Yes, but whatever, it's a me thing. And then I was like, okay, you have many skill sets. Ask AI that help you build all this shit. What is the one thing you cannot do? You must do. You must bring. And then the AI is like, you need to bring a system engineer. You need to bring a system engineer. And then I'm like, okay, you need somebody. Okay, here's what you need. This is what you cannot do. And then don't assume what I can do, not to do. I built something very beautiful using AI. I'm just like, the AI just said that you cannot do this, that you need to bring someone who would be able to do so. No, I can do whatever. Yeah, I know. It's like, you know what? Like, I don't understand. Do people not know what engineers do? That's the issue? It's like, ugh. This is so annoying. Yeah. It definitely democratizing tools develops expertise. It's like, I don't know. I like, you know what? Like, this is the thing, and people are like, oh, AI is great. AI is not great. AI can help you to an extent. If you don't have the experience to know whether whatever the output AI generated is actually what you ask for or not, then you have a problem, actually. You do. And here's the thing, okay? It's not like I'm judging, right? It's just that I'm thinking that AI doesn't suffer the consequences of misunderstanding whatever the instructions were. I heard Israel is researching to make iron-based semiconductor. Did you hear? I actually didn't hear anything about it. And it's not about like the engineering, the technical part. Yeah, AI can do an amazing job. But and you can get out of AI exactly what you want, and it's gonna look beautiful and great and amazing. But it's like the more I see it happening, the more I see it, that it's like you ask from AI to bring you something about the Quran, and then you think, and then if you don't know anything about the Quran, you guys know that it's gonna lie to you. And then you ask AI for some information or whatever, and you don't know, and the AI gives it to you, and you don't know even how to digest whatever it's writing. I mean, it's like you speak the same language. It's actually the same problem I started with, right? We speak the same language, but you don't. You don't. The issue with AI software engineering is, can AI fulfill legal and contract obligations? Yeah, it hallucinates a shit ton. You're right. It hallucinates a lot. And I just, what? I'm like even wondering, right? Let's say the AI understood perfectly well, like what you want and build it for you. Is it even your project anymore? Like if somebody comes and says, "Hey, AI, can you solve the anti-Semitism problem with me?" And then AI actually like generates this amazing platform that tells it exactly whoever needs to know what in order to fight it. Then every person who's gonna ask AI that question is gonna get this platform. So who owns it? Like who owns it? Because like that like this is like this is a weird questions that need to be kind of asked and answered. Like whose property is that? Who generated it? Like I don't hate it either. It's just something that like I can't say I hate it, but I do see the issue exactly. It's like and besides, let's be honest, the actual idea is not even new. It's basically the idea everybody is kind of bringing their own, niche thinking to, is the idea that Charlie Kirk had suggested. And that's a good question. Is anti-Semitism a problem? I don't know. Everybody hates the French, so it's a problem. I don't think so. You're right. There is a question. That's a question to be asked. I think the problem with anti-Semitism is that people start breaking the law. I think that's the problem. Because people start harassing people in the street. People start doing shit that is clearly like goes against like the usual conduct of country. And people make stupid decisions. Like one of the things like I really want to say to every person is like, oh, Hitler was great. You know what's my issue with Hitler? Whatever, everybody can genocide whoever they want. But when you decide that it's more important to send Jews to their slaughter than to divert those trains to feed your soldiers in the front, then I got an issue. You know, it's like I'm sorry, like I don't care, like whatever, you know. But it's like if it's more important to you to send shipments of Jews than it is food to the soldiers that are fighting in the front for you, and that's your priority, then I don't know. It just I don't know. It's like it bothers me. That's like I cannot admire a person like that. Like, you know, even if, like I say, Hitler, okay, let's say Hitler went around and like removed Amalek from. No, if it was more important to him to remove Amalek than to make sure his people survive, then I have a problem. You know, it's like it's weird. It's not. It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, sure, like. But it's like, okay, so people start breaking the law. People start harassing people in the street. People start thinking stupidly. People debate like idiots. I mean, there you can say a lot of things about like, okay, it's anti-Semitic, like no, but why is it? Why does it have like why does it have to come with like a complete loss of humanity? Not in a sense that whatever you do to a Jew, humanity in a sense that you start like self-destruction mechanism. So you know, it's problem. Like, I don't know. It's like fine. I just think it's like mental illness. So that's my issue. Like nobody likes the French, right? Would people go out of their way to try to, like, I don't know, like hurt themselves if they can hurt a French person? Only Muslims would, obviously, but like it's whatever. You cannot like somebody, but it like there is a point where it's just insanity. Like check this person out. Check this. I have some weird things. Like this person here, which I don't actually know. I didn't watch this whatever. I know he had like anti-woke kind of funny things that he made. And I don't know what happened to him. Like, what is this crap? Like, what is this? Like, what is this? Like, what? Or like, it's weird. You're saying not endorsing, of course, but the idea was to get rid of the most dangerous enemy, even if it meant yet another defeat. Most dangerous enemy in the eyes of the painter, not mine. You know here, what's the logic here? It's like you're willing to kill the patient to fight the cancer, and not it's not fighting the cancer so the patient stays alive. It's fighting the patient so the cancer dies. Doesn't make sense, right? What? I don't know what's going on here. Actually, I didn't watch it.
Good evening. With the offing of children, killing of journalists, genocide, the takeover of the U.S. government by Israel, all in the name of Zionism, it is clear we need more Zionism. Christian Zionists, Jewish Zionists, whatever, we need more of it. However, for some reason, there's opposition to Zionism growing in our country. And I'm joined today by one of those Zionist skeptics so that we can learn how the mind of a hateful person works. Christian pastor Joel Webbin. Joel, do you even believe in God?
As a matter of fact, I do. I don't just believe in God, I love God.
Do you worship Israel?
No, I do not. And I also don't think that we should be giving unwavering support to a corrupt country that cares more about their interests than ours.
Government run by Netanyahu, God's favorite chosen person, corruption trial notwithstanding. So why not give unlimited support to Israel?
Well, because Israel is trying to expand its borders every day. They're trying to ultimately decapitate every other national power in the Middle East to achieve greater Israel.
Well, that's just Israel having the right to defend itself.
No, actually, a lot of Middle Easterners would love to be part of Great Israel. You should actually go and talk to people on the ground to see how they feel about it. You know, that's my and if you ask me, like, Muslims don't, like, you know, Muslims spread everywhere. That's the problem. Ask the Christians, ask them, like, ask people, you know, what they think about the Greater Israel Project. I don't know. You might find out that people are more enthusiastic about this idea than what you think. You know, I don't like that people, like, don't bother asking, like, but what do you want? You know, but what do people in the area want? Maybe it's important.
I don't think so. I think it's Israel trying to become another superpower in the Middle East with strategic monopolies on trade routes and commodities that eventually they may not be so friendly towards us.
Well,
Okay, legit. So, like, are the Arabs friendly? It's like, what the fuck? Okay. I mean, okay, so what?
God blesses those who bless Israel. Ted Cruz. Look into it. And God wants us to help Israel defend itself by helping it go on an offensive territorial takeover with bombings, killings, the taking of land and whatnot. So as a non-Zionist believer, what exactly is your problem with that?
Well, my problem with that is it's not really what the Bible teaches. Zionism has really been a hijacking of Christian theology just to get...
Did this dude, like, do they read the Bible? Like, did they ever read the Bible? Like, did they open it? Ever? Like, did they ever open the Bible? I'm not trying to, like, you know, like, how is it different from the Muslims that say, oh, the Quran teaches peace? Like, how is it different than that when the Bible is not, like, the Bible says, conquer the land, get rid of the Canaanites and other people who are here. Did they ever, what's, like, how, like, oh, like, open the effing Bible. Like, it's not even funny. That's the problem. I wish it was funny. I wish it was funny, but it's not. Like, they're making fun of, it's a satire, they're making fun of anti-Zionists. They are? How are they making fun of anti-Zionists? I think most anti-Zionists, like, never open the Bible in their lives, so. I'm just very confused, like, listen. All right. I have no idea. So you're saying it's common knowledge in the United States that the God of the Christians and the Jews and the God of the Bible literally said, conquer the land and make the Middle East yours, right? So it's common knowledge, and therefore, by denying the fact that it's what's written in the Bible, they are making fun of anti-Zionists, right? No, I'm just happy to hear that people like, this is the thing, right? I don't know what Americans know and don't know. I just didn't get the impression that Americans know anything of anything.
Get Christians to serve as financial support and even military support for a foreign nation. Zionism has been used as an ideology to peddle the interest of AIPAC and Christians United for Israel.
I'm only hearing positives here, but are there any negatives?
The negative is that Americans become a tax farm for a foreign country. We're funding them with billions of dollars every single year, and it's not just our money, but it's also the blood of our sons, and in many cases, even the blood of our daughters.
I think if all that was true, a good, strong, honest, God-fearing man like Lindsey Graham would have told us. Do you even know where Zionism comes from?
Actually, I do. It was coined in the 1800s by an individual named Theodor Herzl. He's the founder of modern Zionism.
No, it comes from the Bible.
Not really. That's what modern Zionists would want you to believe, but it's not a biblical ideology. Sure, the word Zion is in the Bible, but the modern political ideology of Zionism comes from Theodor Herzl in the 1800s.
Oh, was Herzl a Christian or a Jew?
He definitely wasn't a Christian. Ethnically, he was Jewish, but religiously, he was an atheist.
I think Christian Zionists having their religion.
I wanna laugh. Where's the funny? The US has the worst reputation. Thank you, Harbinger Zero, for your support. For corruption and evil across the world, we should look at ourselves first before we condemn. I think the US has something that is called free speech, and therefore you can see the dirty laundry. Most countries, if you point out the dirty laundry that is literally hanging outside everywhere, you get executed. Like you're like, oh my God, there's dirty laundry there. Your head is out. Off with your head. America is not. I think there are issues in America for sure, a lot, like things that are complicated, but it's yours. Defend it. Love it. Respect it. I'm trying to like understand the funny
Religious
part.
view shaped by an atheist is pretty awesome, and that makes sense. Well, if Zionism was just magically made up, like you claim, how did it proliferate so much?
Well, it spread like many bad ideologies with a
Do you
lot of
guys want to
financial
see something fun? Because I'm making so I told you last time, there is this article, Zionism for Everyone, in Tablet Magazine, that I'm making I'm making a commentary on. You guys cannot see it properly. So, remembering that. So part of that is trying to explain that as what Zionism really is, and be realistic about it, because people have a lot of mythology when it comes to what Zionism is and how it developed. So I just wanted to bring this statistic. So this is the 12th century. And notice that half of the Jewish population in the world lived in the Arab Peninsula. In the 12th century, in the Middle Ages, half of the Jewish population in the world lived in the Arab Peninsula. So it's really important to understand that the truth is, it's not that Zionism is something that is true, it paints the wrong picture. The truth is that the Jews in Zion died. They became the situation in the land of Israel was just very dire. So, for example, in the 16th century, there were only 5 cities in the entire world where there were more than 10,000 Jews. One of them is Tzfat in Israel. It was also the first population to die down. From all the other cities that had more than 10,000 Jews in the 16th century. The Jews in Israel were the first to get devastated by plagues and earthquakes. So, and wars, right? So the population just died. So it's a survival bias thing. People think, okay, Zionism. No, the truth is that the Jews that live in Israel the entire time, they had not ideal survival chances compared to people who lived in different areas in the world. So and what happened was that at some point, the harsh conditions of Israel became better survival chances than Europe or any other place in the world was. So in the end of the 19th century, half the survival rate of the Jewish population in the land of Israel was 50%, because 50% would die of malaria. Yes, and at some point, right, why did Zionism start? It's because people did the math and realized that with technology and industrialized genocides, they could see the trajectory, and they understood that at some point 50% would give you a better chance than 90% of, like, with technology, of dying. So it's actually became technically the safest place for Jews. The truth is, like, if you had 5 cities in the entire world, which all of them, by the way, were in the Middle East, right? Just Tzfat, only Tzfat was in the Holy Land, but all of the rest of them was were close to the Middle East, okay, close to Israel. Only one, they all got devastated with time, but the first one to die out was the one in Tzfat, because it was the harshest. The conditions were the harshest for anyone who would live here. So the land was deserted. It was disease-ridden. It was people were kidnapped. People would get Bedouin tribes would cross the land all the time and just slaughter, kidnap, loot whatever was in sight. It was not a good place to live. So this is why people are like, Israel was empty. Like, no, there were Arabs here. No, there weren't. There weren't. All the Arabs came at the same time the Jews started coming, and they did what they do in Europe now. They just, everything they do in Europe, they did in Israel. So that's the thing, right? So the land was empty. The land was empty. That's the truth, because the situation the truth is that the conditions in Israel were unbearable. And so pick what is Zionism? Look, Zionism is the realization that the world changed and the survival chances in Israel became better than outside of it. It's just a math. Like, people don't look at math and statistics, okay? Half of the Jewish population in the world in the 12th century lived in the Arab Peninsula. Now, 0. Survival bias. That's it.
Backing, and the lion's share of that coming from the Rothschilds.
Is this the same Rothschilds family that was intertwined with Epstein years later?
One and the same.
Yeah, they've been at it for a while, doing good works of God. Now, Joel, you're all over the place here, but let me see if I can follow. As a Christian man who rejects Zionism while embracing Christianity, which isn't very Christian-like of you, who do you worship?
I worship the Lord Jesus Christ.
I think that's anti-Semitic.
How is that anti-Semitic?
Well, us Christian Zionists believe that Jews are God's chosen people, and we're kind of second-class citizens compared to them. So we kind of worship them and do whatever they want, like start wars, give them free money, vote for. We kind of are. Who do you worship?
I worship the Lord Jesus Christ.
I think that's anti-Semitic.
How is that anti-Semitic?
Well, us Christian Zionists believe that Jews are God's chosen people, and we're kind of second-class citizens compared to them. So we kind of worship them and do whatever they want, like start wars, give them free money, vote for their politicians.
I don't get it. Where's the funny? I mean, yeah, this is why being Christian is effing weird. It's literally what's expected of you if you read the New Testament. Like, literally. Like, this is why I always think, like, what the heck, Christianity is effing weird. First of all, like, your guy says Inri, like King of the Jews, right? That you worship. And then it's like grafted into, and the Jews are the root. And with, it is the Paul that was gracious enough to allow the salvation to the goys, but that's like an afterthought. Like, what? It's the New Testament. I don't get it. Like, I think it's weird? Yes. I do think it's weird. But it's your decision to make it like, like, I problematic. I make your own choices, but it is kind of, you kind of tell me, I don't like, I don't get it. What do you want? It's like, you are making fun of the religious, like okay. Oh no, like Jews are not supposed to like settle in the land of Israel and bob everywhere. Did you read the Bible, sir? Did you read it? Did you like the way Christian, the way worship? Did you read the New Testament? Did you read it? I'm so tired. Did you read it? What does it have to do with Messianic Judaism? You mean like Jews who believe in Jesus? No, Jews who believe in Jesus make way more sense because like they're Jews, It's like Peter was like, okay, convert to Judaism, and then if you want to follow Jesus, you follow Jesus, right? That was the deal in the beginning. And then Paul was like, who needs to convert? Just accept Jesus and you're good. And it's like, as long as you know that you were grafted. I'm sorry, like, I don't know. It's very hard to read the New Testament and not think that, like, you kind of do worship Jews. I'm sorry. No, we didn't ask you. We didn't ask you. I'm like, okay. Well, I think Christianity is weird. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's weird. I do think the New Testament does kind of require to worship Jews, especially like a Jew. But to be honest, Jesus is such a typical Jew, which is like, to me, it's like an archetype of every Jew in the world. Was Jesus for the people of Israel only or entire humanity? Okay, so his last words were, down with the Romans. Long live Israel, basically. In a little bit of encrypted language, as the Romans wouldn't get the memo. So was Jesus here for the people of Israel only? Fundamentally, yes. Yeah. So
politicians in our country, it's like they're superior and they don't believe in Jesus, but we do. But we kind of wish we didn't because we want to be like them. They're better than us.
Basically, your Christian theology is that if you're not ethnic.
Okay, so here's the thing with Christianity. Christianity is split into two, what you are told and what is written. Okay? I'm not gonna act as if believing what the people tell me make more sense than believing what I read. Okay? I have eyes to see and ears to hear, and I don't need you to tell me what to think. Honestly. I was like, study more Christianity, my ass. No, I love it. Like, I'm sorry. It reminds me, it's the same with a lot of Hasidic, rabbis and yeshivas. My friend, he stopped going to yeshiva because he was like, you know what? At some point, you look at the rabbi, he tells you one thing, you look at the text, and you say the text says a different thing. Like, I speak Hebrew. I know what's written. What the heck? It's like it requires you to go insane in order to believe what the rabbi says, but not what you're reading. It's like, oh, here's like, let's open what it says here. It says you must get rid of all the people who are occupying Israel, and especially the Amalek. You need to wipe them out. Oh, does the Bible say that the Greater Israel is a project and you need to bomb everyone? Yes, and it also says that it includes the babies. Like, what? It's in the effing Bible. What do you want? It's unpleasant? It's not what something you like? Then maybe it's not for you, you know? Maybe it's not for you. It's okay, fine. I'm just saying, like, this is what's written. What do you want? Is the Hebrew of the Old Testament understandable for an Israeli? Yes. 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 It is.
Ethnically Jewish, you're a Gentile Christian, you're just an inferior. You really are like the, no offense, but the redheaded stepchild of God? I don't think that when God speaks of his chosen people, he was talking about a group of citizens that wouldn't even exist for millennia later in the nation state of Israel established in 1948.
The Bible says so, dummy.
Not really. Before 1909 and the introduction of
The Bible says so, dummy.
Later, talking about a group of citizens that wouldn't even exist for millennia later in the nation state of Israel established in 1948.
The Bible says so, dummy.
Not really. Before 1909 and the introduction of the Schofield Reference Bible, it was the common theology of Christians to believe that God's chosen people were not ethnically Jewish or ethnically Gentile, but those who had union with Christ through faith. It wasn't about blood. It was about love for Jesus, trust in Jesus, people who go to church, people who worship the Lord.
That doesn't make any sense because that's not what I believe. And that would make God accessible to anyone.
You know what I love about trusting Jesus is that instead of looking at what Jesus actually said, they were like, they just make up stuff and say Jesus said it. Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure Israel in the Bible is referring to the nation state that didn't exist when the Bible was written, founded in 1948 under shady circumstances. So the point is we should do anything for God's chosen people, like Netanyahu.
Well, no, and actually, while we're on the topic, Netanyahu is actually Polish. But here's the thing, as a Christian,
What do you mean Netanyahu is actually Polish? Like, no offense, like, but isn't like Trump actually Irish or something? And isn't like the president in El Salvador, isn't he Palestinian? Isn't he like a Levantine Arab? Which is ironically like he's good friends with Israel as well, which is funny, but you know. Wait, I want to know. He clocked you with the previous one? What are you talking about? What argument did he have? Did I not react on something that I should have reacted for the idiots in the crowd? Sometimes I just like, you know, sometimes I overestimate your intelligence, so I guess I missed something. Sorry, you guys. I shall not overestimate the intelligence.
1948.
What is it that I missed on? I'm curious. What is it that was not clear to you, sir? I'm very curious. Thank you. Trump is Scottish. Thank you for the correction.
48 under shady circumstances. So the
it's hard not to get frustrated, huh, Rebecca? Is it hard not? I'm not frustrated. I just know people are retarded. It's okay. I accept it. I accept humanity. It's like, if people are stupid, they're stupid. What can I do? Is it frustrating? If I need to talk to them. It's in the book. What is in the book? Let me see. What did I miss that you should have?
State that didn't exist when the Bible was written, founded in 1948 under shady circumstances. So exists.
What do you mean shady circumstances?
The Schofield Reference Bible, it was the common theology of Christians to believe that God's chosen people were not ethnically Jewish or ethnically Gentile, but those who had union with Christ through faith. It wasn't about blood. It was about love for Jesus, trust in Jesus, people who go to church, people who worship the Lord.
That doesn't make any sense because that's not what I believe. And
it doesn't make any sense because it's meaningless. What does like loving Jesus mean? You can be a murderer, cannibalistic person and love Jesus and then you're a Christian. This is what makes Christianity such a lame cult-like existence in many churches, because you require nothing. There is nothing you like. All you require is like believing in Jesus, but you can be the most vile person in the world, right? It's just like, or is it that Jesus actually stood for something? Guess we would never know. Because once you actually think about what Jesus stood for, suddenly everything he says sounds like bullshit. Because Jesus stood for the Jewish people and the Jewish law. This is what he stood for.
That would make God accessible to anyone. So I'm pretty sure Israel in the Bible is referring to the nation state that didn't exist when the Bible was written, founded in 1948 under shady circumstances. So
here's another thing. Okay, so Israel in the Bible, right? That so there was a period that Israel was in exile. That is also included in the Bible. You know, the Babylonian exile. So was the Israel before the Babylonian exile and after the Babylonian exile? Like what? Like, what is it? Are they like, how is it different? They're both in the Bible. It's not the same. It's not exactly right. There was a foreign influence from being in exile. I was like, so this, I mean.
So the point is we should do anything for God's chosen people, like Netanyahu.
Well, no, and actually, while we're on the topic, Netanyahu is actually Polish. But here's the thing, as a Christian pastor, if we really want to use the Bible doesn't say those who bless the nation state of Israel will be blessed. It's actually a reference found in Genesis chapter 12, where God is speaking not to the nation of Israel, even Israel under the old covenant, which comes later, but this is God speaking to Abraham. So Abraham's grandson, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, his grandson, God changes his name to Israel. He has 12 sons, the 12 tribes of Israel. But all the way back with Abraham in Genesis 12, that's where God says, those who bless you will be blessed, those who curse you will be cursed. And if you're going to interpret that to mean not just Abraham individually, but his descendants, well, Abraham actually had two sons, not just one. He has the promised son, Isaac, but he also has his son, Ishmael, who became the father of all these Muslim nations. So by that interpretive logic, you would be just as blessed by God by giving billions of dollars and military aid to Iran, a Muslim nation, as you would Israel, a Jewish one.
So you say Netanyahu's Polish. Whatever, he's doing good. He's doing a lot of God's works and prophecy.
You know, this is what happens when you actually think that Jesus didn't stand for anything, right? Like, if you think that that the Muslim descendants of Abraham who rape, kill, slaughter, cannibalize, they are the ones that represent whatever Jesus stood for. I'm sorry, You are deranged lunatic that needs to be, like, whatever this red thing is not external. It should be coming from your, you know.
And things like that. Okay, you anti-Zionist bigot, time for some rapid-fire questions. Who should lead the American right in 2028 after Trump?
Well, I think it's clear at this point we need a leader with courage, but someone who's also a Christian with virtue.
Wrong. Trump for a third term in 2028. Trump leads the American right after Trump. Mary Madelson's already funding his campaign. Next question. What would you call it if Russian interests controlled 75% of Congress?
Well, I think it's pretty clear the word is treason.
Correct. What would you call it if Israeli interests controlled 75% of Congress?
It's still treason.
Incorrect. That would be getting blessed by those that we blessed so we can be blessed. Now you've got a conference coming up in Dallas, Texas called Christ is King, the American right after Trump. You probably gave Ted Cruz a stroke calling it that. What's this event about?
Well, the point is that whether you love Trump or whether you hate him, if you are a conservative, if you're on the right wing, politically speaking,
You know, this is what happens when you create an image. This is all the result of the Christians insisting to go against the Torah and against the Ten Commandments. Because what happens is when you create an image is that you don't understand the difference between following the law and if you have like the same God that you worship, or if you have an image that you follow. Because the thing is, like, Israel is not Israel. Israel is a set of values and a set of belief systems and a set of like laws and a set of rules and a set of like things that come with it. It's a package. It's like thinking like, and this is like what happens when you, instead of understanding that, you decide to use a symbolic image, and you start thinking that the image itself is God and not what it represents, the truth and the set of teachings. This is why the Ten Commandments say do not create an image. What they're doing right now is creating an image, because they're not saying what it is that Israel does, like what it means that Israel controls like the US, right? It doesn't say that. Why doesn't it not say that? Because it's incapable of thinking in terms of value system, which is represented by Israel controlling the Congress. No, they literally make it, oh, do you choose the green team or the blue team? You fucking, like, this is what happens. This is why God said, do not make an image. This question, what makes a person a Jew or a patriot to their country? Is Israel nations of Jews or a nation? What makes a person a Jew? Asking the famous what makes a person a Jew is basically, it's very similar to what originally, it's very similar to what makes an American an American. If you believe in the Constitution, if you believe the values that America represents, you're an American. If you believe in the Ten Commandments and what the Judaism and the Jewish people represent and the nationhood of Israel, that is the basic requirement in the Bible to be Jewish, right? Now, later on, because of the exiles and everything like that, and because of the harsh conditions of the land, there were a lot of things that were added to that, because it turned into something that you need to carry with you. But originally, it's basically, it's a lot of it has to do with the land. The fact that like Israel, the Jews had to survive outside of the land made it a bit more complicated. So what makes, like, here's the thing, right? If you convert to Judaism, then you have the rights of return. You can make an aliyah. You don't need to be genetically Jewish. You accepted the laws of the land, the laws of Israel, by following the Torah, and that's how you and you were accepted by the community. So the community in abroad, usually like wherever you convert or in Israel, accepts you as somebody who understands the law and the Constitution, whatever, right? You can look at it like that. And you have the right of it. You can become an Israeli citizen. So the thing is, like, there are two things. Like, you have the patriot to their country is to care about your proximity, your location, where you're at, right? So, and being a Jew is basically believing in the God of Israel and being recognized as by others, right? Because what happens is that a lot of people are like, yes, I believe in the God of Israel. And then this is what they believe in, right? So what they believe in is not the Ten Commandments, but images. They go against the Ten Commandments. So a Jew would be able to tell you don't actually believe in the Ten Commandments because you need images. You cannot actually you don't understand the essence. What you follow is an image. What you follow is a symbol. What you worship is the color blue, and you define yourself by the color blue. You don't care about truth. You don't care about life. You don't care about the blessing. You don't care about anything. You don't care about freedom. Nothing. You care about blue or green. It's like, oh, you follow this person, that person. No, means that you don't have the layer of abstraction that is a requirement for a Jew. A Jew that doesn't have an abstract, cannot think in abstract terms is a mediocre Jew. And Jews can recognize it. They're trained to do so. So some Jews are not like, but once you are part of the tribe, you usually are part of the tribe, right? So this is why you need to be accepted by the community, because there are a lot of people like this idiot. They think, oh, we worship the same God, like the God of the Bible. The God of the Bible doesn't give a crap about whether or not you call him this name or that name. He cares about whether or not you understand the concepts of life, freedom, truth. And, you don't follow an image, you follow a set of laws. If you cannot comprehend that, you're not going to get accepted to the tribe, because you see, our community requires something that is called not being an idiot. And I don't mean like as in intelligence. There are people who can't read and write who were accepted to be Jews. Like, I know people who were accepted and went through conversion, even though they couldn't actually answer any rabbinical questions. Like, the rabbis asked them like questions about the law. They asked them about like, what do you do? How do you? And they couldn't answer any question because it was too difficult for them. Based intellectually, it was like it's too much. They couldn't remember, but they really, really wanted to be Jewish, and they passed. There are people they passed. Why? Because their soul was there, even though they understood nothing when it comes to what you would think is like the more technical things that require maybe they did. So exactly, it's your resolution to live toward true life. Yes, but the other thing that is super important, right, is to understand that Jews know what they're looking for and what it means, and it doesn't make sense that you would consider yourself more knowledgeable than those who know what they're looking for. Yeah, there is a Jew test, you guys. There are several rabbis who interview you to see that you can be a Jew. And I can tell you for certain that there is one guy, at least one story of a guy that couldn't pass any technical knowledge and still passed because he really truly wanted to be a Jew. And it came from his heart, which is also, by the way, the start of the Hasidic community, because one of the biggest splits in Judaism, or the biggest fights, were between the Hasidim and the Litaim, which are represented by the genius from Vilna, who believed that one believed that you cannot be Jewish without the ability to study. That like, and then there was like this evolution in Judaism. The Hasidic was said, you know what, your intent, your kindness, your soul matters, even if your prayer is just is just not, it's just like your inner plea, whether it's a song or a scream. So, Harbinger Zero, do you consider yourself a Jew? Yes, of course. Of course. What do you mean? I'm a Jew. It's when people, a lot of times when people ask like, what are you? Like, I'm a Jew. It's like, it expands a lot if you understand what it means to be a Jew. It expands a lot, right? It's a shortcut. So, Jesus died for our sins because no man can satisfy God's perfection. We cannot save ourselves, so God stepped in and sent his only begotten Son, the Lamb of God, Jesus Christ, to die. And that's why you are slaves to the church or whatever. It's nice to see a discussion on the difference between Christianity and Judaism, but it's always the same arguments. Well, there you go. It's always the same arguments because those are the arguments. What else? It's very simple. It's not like, it's like, what's the difference? Well, the difference is between people who understand that morality and what like, and that there is a meaning behind something and not just the word itself. Just, you know. Oh no, I missed the buy me coffee. Okay, Charles just supported you with 5 books. Thank you so much. Let me see what you wrote. I don't like that it hides a lot of it, but now I know. Okay, let me see, Charles, what's written. Okay, there is. When one loves, one does not calculate. Good. True. But here's the thing, when you have imagery, is it love, right? You don't love. You love the color blue, but not humanity. This is the problem with Christianity, with a lot of Christians. Like, why? It's beyond them not understanding the law. It's the fact that they love the symbol more than they love anything else. They don't like, it's the symbol they care about. It's not humanity. It's not life. It's not truth. It's the symbol that they care for, right? The new computer is absolutely great. Thank you for asking.
We are going to be entering into a world, a nation, America, post-Trump. And we need to begin the conversation of what comes next, what was good, what went wrong, and how can we grow? And so the idea of the conference is to have everyone being right-wing, they're conservatives, and everyone being a professing Christian. And we want to discuss, it'll be November 12th, 13th, and 14th, right after the midterm elections, which, let's just be honest, because Trump has broken some of the promises that he made, like no new wars, and giving us a new war in the Middle East, there's a lot of frustration towards him. We're probably going to get a blue wave come this midterm election, so this will be right after that. And so, yes, Trump will have...
Disgusting. Listen, like, I'm so sorry, but like,
Why say
honestly, you just lost as a pious Christian man, you just lost to a little Nazi with your logic and reasoning and morality. Like I don't know what he's gonna say here, but I have a feeling that, like, considering that they at least understand, like he at least says like communism is bad, like that he won the argument. So stupid.
So I say on Twitter today that we need to put Hassan Piker in jail, and I get all of these anti-Semites.
See, he made a moral judgment, which is way more than what this awful that person, that the Christian literally didn't say anything that has to do with morality. So just in the first sentence, the fact that he made a moral judgment makes him somebody who at least doesn't worship the color blue and is willing to fight for the color blue because they're insane.
Saying that I'm Jewish because I want Hassan Piker to be put in prison. They said, well, Laura Loomer said the same thing. Hassan Piker criticizes Israel. And this goes with the whole idea that the solution to our problem is a right-left alliance. You hear this all the time. You say, we need a right-wing, left-wing alliance. We're all going to fight Israel. Let's bring the socialists and the fascists together, and we're all going to put Israel in their place. And I'm just here to tell you that is never going to work. Fuck the left. The left are garbage. They are scum, and they want us dead. Don't you understand that? Do you understand that if you go into a left-wing neighborhood as a right-wing person, if they knew you were right-wing, they would try to kill you and your family? Let's not forget, yes.
You're saying this time is correct, but he's still a Nazi. But at least he stands for something. Like, look at this guy, all right? Jesus is the Word of God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. Like, that means you don't stand for anything. Because, you can say whatever words you want. Whatever words are uttered out of your mouth fall into this category of whatever you just said. You stand for nothing. I don't like that. When you stand for nothing, it means that you are basically the type of person who would be like, follow me, and if you don't, you're dead. I was like, well, I don't know. Because even in like Islam, right, you're like, okay, there's a book, and you can hold people accountable if they don't follow the book that says kill and murder and stuff. Okay, like you have some agency, you have some fucked up thing that is called but it's still something. It's awful, right? But you do the world a favor wherein you show what you stand for. So, you people think that am I anti-Christianity? Is it anti-Christian sentiment? No, it's not anti-Christian sentiment. I just don't think this, here's the thing, right? I'm not here to judge who is Christian, who is not. It's your choice. But if you think a person that has no backbone, has no moral code, cannot articulate what it is that they stand for, and you accept them as Christian just because they say Christ is King, then you are the one that is anti-Christian. That you are the one that is willing to let people use you. And I'm not Christian, so I'm not gonna gatekeep people from claiming whether they're Christian or not. It's not my call. I just know one thing. They don't follow the New Testament. They don't follow Jesus. and they don't follow the Old Testament. They don't follow the Ten Commandments. They don't follow the Bible at all. But for many, Christianity simply means saying Christ is King. That's all it requires. And therefore, maybe the problem is that Christianity and Christian is similar to saying nothing, everything, meaningless, pointless. So maybe you're anti-Christian. If you cannot define what Christianity is, if you don't care about anything that's written, if you don't follow the law, the only thing that is important to you is that Christ is King, and that's all you ask for. And then whoever, I don't know, how do you decide? How do you decide what Christ is King wants you to do? Because clearly it has no grounding, because it has nothing to do with any written code anywhere. So how do you decide between yourselves who knows best what Christ King wants you to do? Maybe the one, like, maybe the people they actually worship is whoever they choose to decide for them that what Christ is King is saying. And I don't know. And then it's like, okay, so is Jesus your Jesus your God? Is Christ King, or Jesus King, or is it the whoever tells you what Jesus wants from you with zero basis on whatever is written, history, facts, truth, reality, nothing. I don't know. If you're everything, you're nothing.
Jewish oligarchy is occupying America, and that is an impediment to America first and American sovereignty. But let us not forget for even 1 second that the far left is a creation of the Jewish oligarchy. People say the Jewish oligarchy is pitting the right and the left against each other. That's wrong. The Jewish oligarchy created.
Am I part of the Jewish oligarchy? I don't know if I'm included or excluded in this conversation right now here. But if you're nothing, you're everything. No, I think so. When it comes to human terms, it actually means that you're just a whore. You know, just like that's what it actually means. Like, because like, what are the conditions of being a Jewish oligarchy? Because like, honestly, like, can you help me turn into Jewish oligarchy, you guys, somehow? We know that you have a wealthy. Don't you have wealthy relatives, Harbinger Zero? Right? I kind of remember you saying something about your aunt being super rich or something. I'm just trying to understand, like, maybe we can hate on the Jewish oligarchy together because I'm not in the club. I kind of want to be in the club, though. I kind of want Nick Fuentes to be hating on me. I don't know why, because it's more fun.
the left.
Maybe something about like a gay Mexican midget that thinks he's Aryan hating you is funny.
There are only conservatives, nationalists, fascists, and maybe liberals. But the far left, communists, progressives, socialists, that's a creation of organized Jewry. What did the far left do in the Soviet Union?
Again, like organized Jewry. Where is this organization at? I don't like being excluded of this like, does it include me or not? Because if it does, I want you to know that I have complaints about, like, I have a lot of things that I would like to change. So maybe I like, who are the organized Jewry? Like, where are they? I have some things I wanna, you know. Maybe Nick Fuentes knows them. I bet Nick Fuentes has maybe he has a back channel to the Jewish oligarchy and the organized Jewry. Yeah, I want my Jew money. Like, I want, where is it? Like, it's not fair. Like, there are two options, okay, Nick? Like, and basically, like, I'm not feeling comfortable to be in the same side of like a delusional gay person that thinks whatever. I guess I do have too much in common with Nick Fuentes, actually. Except he's more successful than me, so it's even worse. I'm not happy. I don't like it.
It wasn't even the unionists. It wasn't even the socialists. It was the hardcore Bolsheviks, the vanguardists, the Leninists. They were the ones that went and killed everybody. They were the ones that tried to destroy every nation in the whole world. They tried to do it in Germany, in Italy, in China, in Mongolia. They did it everywhere. And then they exported that into the United States. What is the left? It's open borders. It's destroying the family. It's all those things. This idea that we're going to unite with Hassan Piker, first of all.
Okay, Nick Fuentes, I don't want to say anything, but like, now, you know what? Now I understand. Like, there is no way that this guy is not part of this organized Bolshevik Jewry stuff, right? Like, he literally promotes all the agenda that he just spoke against. Like, he loves that he celebrates Stalin's birthday, and he is not married. I don't think any of the people who follow him learn how to get married in there. Like, how did he get accepted to the organized Bolshevik organization club where everybody is rich and get the Jewish oligarchy money and I wasn't? I have many questions. Like
of all, their heroes are Jewish communists. Hassan Piker is doing tricks on it for Rose Luxemburg, or whatever her name is. He's doing tricks on it for Leon Trotsky. He's doing tricks on it for Jewish communists. If he had it his way, the entire country would be a stinking, progressive, liberal, open borders, Jewish shithole. In case you haven't noticed, That's what all these progressive cities are. Minneapolis has a Jewish mayor. Hello? New York City, LA are the most Jewish cities in America. And people go, oh, if we could just put our differences aside, we're going to team up with the Young Turks and we're all going to defeat Israel. It's not going to go like that. I promise you. So we'll get into that too. We'll discuss that in relation to the Hassan Piker subpoena.
Mm. I don't know.
Well, the straits have to be open. They're going to be open one way or the other. So they need to be open. What's happening there is unlawful. It's illegal. It's unsustainable for the world. It's unacceptable. I don't know of any country in the world that does it. The Russians are not in favor of a tolling system. The Chinese are not in favor of a tolling system. And there's no country in the world that's in favor of a tolling system except the regime in Iran. So that's not acceptable. That cannot happen. The straits need to be open, unimpeded, without tolls. And obviously that needs to happen immediately as soon as anything's agreed to. Well, the straits.
Getting married into the jury. I think the organized jury he's part of, I don't think they get married so much. I think he's talking about like the trans Jewish rabbis that were campaigning for Mamdani. Which, to be honest, like, I don't know. Very weird. What's going on in the Canada? Canada looks fun. Masked Islamist in Montreal paraded a Jew being hanged through the streets. Makes sense. Yeah. By the way, look, former notorious anti-Semite Lucas Gage was spotted at a New Jersey kosher steakhouse dining with Orthodox Jewish journalist Dick Trucks and company. Lucas Gage now openly admits the Goyim are dumb and has completely flipped side after realizing where the success. Oh my god. Guys. Guys, can somebody this is good entertainment. Gonna lie, I'm not gonna lie. This guy, on the other hand, actually freaks me out.
When necessary, we will take aggressive legal action to remove negligent owners and property managers. And for buildings that have suffered chronic neglect, we will work to transfer ownership to responsible stewards. Stewards that include community land trusts, nonprofits, or even the tenants themselves. When necessary, we will take aggressive legal action to remove.
You know, celebrating Stalin's birthday sounds like relatively sane. Suddenly. I think that having a day where you celebrate Stalin's birthday in New York every year is less destructive than whatever this shit is. Like I know like Americans don't read anyway, right? You can tell them whatever you want about Stalin, just like you can tell them whatever you want about Jesus. Like they're never gonna go and check what Stalin actually believed in. Like they never check what Jesus believed in, so why would they check what Stalin believed in? So I think like celebrating Stalin's birthday would make so much more sense than whatever he just offered. And like it would be like way less destructive for New York City. By the way, the flotilla anarchists, like everywhere they went, they got beaten up so badly. Like Spain, Austria, Greece, I think Libya. Not like this is why I go through this walk of humility. Stop generalizing Americans. Well, here's the thing, right? Can I explain my logic to you? So there are two types. There are the ones who would never go and check what Stalin believed in, and it's gonna be like Jesus. You can tell them whatever you want. And then there are the people who would actually see what Stalin believed in, and then they would stop believing in Stalin. Right? It's like if you go and read, then you're not gonna believe this shit. Because you literally did the due diligence. It means you're a responsible person who wants to know what might be the consequences of this stupid practice. Right? So it's like, oh, you probably, don't fall like so it's a win-win situation. I don't see a problem, right? You're gonna have a half that you can say whatever you want, because they're never gonna read the original text. And the other half would actually read it and be like, this is shit. This is beautiful. Speaking of. So it's not. So I want to say it's not like I don't believe in Americans. In fact, I believe them in Americans so very much. I believe that those who read and ask questions will not fall to the bullshit. You know.
Cops used to bury children alive. Bury children alive.
Which is notice, it's exactly what happened with Americans who went and actually read the Quran. Those who read it, hate it. Those who didn't read it, follow it. See, it's the same. And you can tell them whatever you want that it's in there. Yeah.
I think in addition to being an important document and an important agreement, I think it brings a tangible example of the strategic partnership between the United States and India. Thank you.
May I now request both the leaders to please sign the document?
Woohoo.
May I now request both the leaders to please stand and exchange the document?
In addition to being an
This is great. What is right police? I don't care. Oh, this is so beautiful. There are so many people we got rid of. Okay, this is, I don't feel like translating. Israeli defense giants lands 1.4 billion euro deal, which is great. We should get the money. I don't like Europe. Europe sucks. They're trying to make Palestine happen no matter what. It's like their god they follow right now is Palestine, and they like Europe in general, and they're trying to do whatever they can to make it happen. So I don't know. I wish there were more options with countries that are like not awful around the world. Less insane. But I'm guessing like Insanity is like, mental illness is like the new, like everybody is mentally ill. This is what happens when people make mental illness vogue. Everybody is like just competing with each other, who is the craziest person. That's the world we're living in. Israel is always in the room with us. They never leave us alone. And if you are a government official, they are very likely literally in the room with you. Oh, wait, I'm not a government official. They have Israeli assets and listening devices everywhere. That's how they stole our nuclear secrets, triggers, and uranium. That's how they stole our nuclear secrets, triggers, and uranium. With Israeli assets and listening devices? What? Guys, what am I like what is the proper reaction to something like that? Nuclear secrets. Next time, don't hire Jews to make nukes. Do it yourselves without Jews. See how it goes. Germany tried, didn't work out, so works better with Jews. So yeah, Jews have a soft spot for defending themselves from crazies like you. So I don't know. It's like it's a. I understand. One hand, you want to use technology invented by Jews. On the other hand, you don't want the Jews to have the technology they themselves invented. Problem. So I see. I don't want. Stop what, sir? Stop what? OMG, Rebecca, just stop. Stop what, sir? Stop what? Like what? Stop what, sir? Can you explain what do I need to stop? Because seriously, like the fact that this guy goes around the world without getting punched in the face by every single American he passes through. I don't know, sir. What do you mean by stop? Punch him, I'll stop. After you punch him, I'll be like, okay, maybe, I don't need to say anything. He gets punched a lot, Baruch Hashem. Good. I like Americans in general, to be honest. Good. I just want to see the videos. Where are the videos? Ta-da-da-da-da-da. I read the Quran. I don't believe you read the Quran. I mean, okay, it does say a lot about the Israelites and our ancestors. Not in hate, but in worship. But then they hate because they have to worship us. It's a problem. Guys, by the way, is this video real? Like, did it really happen? I mean, this I know it's like obviously AI, but this whole situationship, did it really happen? Like this thing? Like is it normal? Cause like I don't feel like it makes sense. By the way, hi, happy Independence Day, Georgia. Like cause sometimes people generate clips, AI clips like this. Cause I don't want to believe it, and I kind of don't want to. What do you mean? You can't claim Jews are great and then not claim when they do bad. What bad did they do? The bad thing they did is to allow any other country except for Israel to have nuclear weapons. I agree. I mean, America did fund it, so it's fair. What? It's fair. It makes sense. You fund it? I mean, I don't see the problems. Hi. So yeah, definitely trying to become slaves. I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe it's real. I don't want to. I don't want to. Can I not believe it? Hi. I mean, I don't want to. What is this? Oh, this is interesting.
My name is Manuel. I'm a eulogy work as a man from Kalgoorlie in Western Australia.
Was that English? I didn't understand a word.
I stand here. We all stand here on Gadigal land, Darug country, stolen land. A colony for 237 years since 1788. The same colonizers that colonized Palestine. We share the same story. We share the same colonizer. They gifted that land. They stole that land and they gave it to Israel.
Oh, I see. Okay, so the Jews stole the Judea.
Australia does not have a right to exist.
Just like Israel, Australia does not have a right to exist.
Palestinian people have had to fight for 76 plus years for their rights against genocide, occupation, ethnic cleansing, and what is happening right now in Gaza today. The same thing has happened here for too long in Australia.
Well, fine then. I'm already like, I'm spoken for. I defend Israel because I care about Israel and that's my people. Australia, like, I'm not gonna say whether it should exist or not, It's like, it's beyond my scope. It's like in the other side of the world. I don't know. It's somebody else's job. So, I think it's the
Through
same.
our new citywide campaign, Fix the City.
Yeah, some bullshit. Oh yeah, it's the same. Yes. Israel, Gaza, taken care of. Good. I don't feel like.
On this list, perhaps the most explosive country on this list is Pakistan. Because Pakistan is not merely another Muslim majority country. Pakistan is a nuclear power. Over 240 million people, one of the largest Muslim populations on earth, a military deeply tied to Islamic identity politics, and a country that never recognized Israel and never wants to. Support for Palestine inside Pakistan is emotionally intense. Anti-Israel sentiment exists across major segments of political society. Islamist groups in Pakistan frequently frame the Palestinian issue as part of a global Islamic struggle. So imagine what would happen politically if Pakistan suddenly recognizes Israel. It would be seismic because it would shatter one of the core narratives that many Islamist movements have promoted for generations, that no truly Islamic state can normalize relations with Israel.
Of course they can't. It goes against Islam. Like, you can't follow the 10 Commandments and anti-10 Commandments at the same time. Armenia. That's another thing. I don't feel like talking about the Kafkas right now. Eliminated. Ah, Israel looks so nice. I like it. It's nice. It's pretty. Woohoo! Strength and might. You know, something must be really effed up with the world where people are like supposed to be like pretending that it's not something you need to be proud of if you have strength and might. It's such a fun thing. It's like we should all be weak and feeble. I don't get it. Mm-hmm. Is that the same? Yeah, he did tell everybody to vote Democrat a couple of weeks ago. But to be honest, at least it's amusing, so. And also everybody knows he's a stupid asshole prick. So I don't know.
What it is, and let's vote on these things. But I think we're in violation of both the spirit and the law of the Constitution by bombing a capital, blockading a country, and removing elected officials. And we certainly wouldn't tolerate it, nor would I if someone did it to us.
Well, we didn't remove an elected official. We removed someone who was not elected, and it was actually an indicted drug trafficker in the United States, and their system.
Our laws, indicted under our laws. Look, Bolsonaro says that Da Silva is not really the president of Brazil. Our president said Biden wasn't really the president. Hillary Clinton said in 2016 Trump wasn't the president. So you have these arguments, and I agree with you. It probably was, and most likely was, most assuredly was a bad election. He wasn't really elected. But at the same time, if that's our predicate, and you don't have to come to us because it's a drug bust, we're just removing somebody, you can see where it leads to, and it leads to chaos. And that's why we have rules like the Constitution, so we don't get so far out there that presidents can do whatever they want. It is this check and balance.
I don't, like, honestly, like, I don't see, like, I see a bigger problem that people think that it made sense that America voted for a guy with dementia. Like, if it makes sense to you that America voted with a guy that is retarded because, like, he has dementia, then I am worried about what makes, like, because there is a truth and then there is, like, common sense. And at some point you think to yourself, you know, if a country votes for a leader that cannot speak anymore, something is very, very wrong. So it's either that you believe that America has lost its mind, or that, you know, maybe something happened that should not have happened that made it possible for somebody that goes through an old age situation, which is clear and easy to see for anyone who has eyes. So if it's the two options, right? Sometimes maybe truths matter less than because accepting the truth that people who voted for this guy, like for somebody who is mentally lacking, is just admitting that you're dead, right? So I'd rather be like, you know, I choose hope. I choose hope. Does the truth matter every time? I personally believe that sometimes hope matters more. Now, there is a different thing, like I can accept Mamdani was elected, right? He is an idiot, but he is not like clear, like he is not having seizures on stage. You see? So, and I think it needs to be, at some point, it needs to be like, yeah, like at some point you need to have like those objective measurements, right? Like, I by the way, it was also my position on COVID, which I said, like, you know what, like I'd rather cooperate with a COVID vaccine than live with the consequences of the societal breakdown that would follow not believing the narrative. Because I was like, that's actually a smaller risk than the other way around. Sometimes I do risk calculation when I choose what the truth is. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? You say sometimes you just have to let the systems fail. You're wrong. That's the most dangerous choice. So sometimes there needs to be a risk calculation when you choose to do something. There needs to be. Because sometimes the price of being right, or the price of being right is greater than the price of being wrong, and then reflecting back and trying to fix it retrospectively.
Balance. And I would argue for 70 years we've been going the wrong way. It isn't just this president, but it's a debate that I think is worth having.
You grow by analyzing in retrospect. So that's how. Like, because sometimes, like, you know, not following, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Because you need to have like a price. Yeah, because you don't always know what the truth is at the moment. So if you say that America chose somebody that has a mental capacity that is not fitting the position, then like do whatever you can to choose the choice that would make the system check itself, right? It's not that you necessarily don't believe that most people voted for this retarded guy. Maybe you do, but the benefit of checking the system outweighs the cost of doing so, right? So it's like something you need to take into account when you make decisions. Because sometimes you need to go with the minority opinion. But you know, reasoning skills. Oh, by the way, this is cool. It's a cool story, but not tonight. This is the young, yeah, definitely. So, like, you need to be smart about, you don't, like, you know, there is a very interesting, like, this phrase in Hebrew says, don't be righteous or right, be smart. Sometimes you need to be smart, not right. Sometimes you need to be smart and not necessarily correct. That's why I also like fight against the notion, which a lot of people like, oh, asking if something is true or not is the most important question. And my argument, that's not true. Not always the question of is something true or not, what you need to do. Because the thing is, when that's your mindset, then first of all, sometimes it takes away agency from you. Just because something is true, not necessarily means it has to be. So you also need to know, like, when something is, well, could be true, and then you need to decide whether or not you want it to be true. Because not always the question, is it true, is like set in stone. Sometimes things can change, which is, I know it sounds like, oh, okay, like, no, but actually it's a mindset that you need to have in order to have agency as well. Because this is the thing that, this is the relative advantage Muslims have in the West. If a Western person automatically, if their go-to question is it true or not? And the Muslim go-to question is what serves Islam, right? Not necessarily if it's true or not. The Muslims are more likely to do the things that would make reality fit whatever works for them, right? So here's the thing. So if you look at, are imams teaching at elementary schools? If you are a Muslim, You don't care if the question necessarily is true or false. You say, do Imam teaching? And so the way you approach it is to make sure that it's actually becomes true. But if your question is it true or false, then there is no, you just check, okay, true or false. Now what? Now what? It might be true tomorrow. It might be false. Like what? Now what? And that is the thing. Like you don't have agency when you just check if something is true or not. You just, it means that there is a set situation and you accept it as if you have no agency in the world, as if you don't walk, breathe, and have influence, as if like that's what it means to be free. And it means that psychologically Muslims have an advantage over Westerners because their questioning gives them an advantage. Exactly. A Muslim asks himself, are you sure you're doing the wrong thing? Exactly. But so you also need us, and then again, and then the other is very easy to see vulnerability of asking whether something is true or not is that sometimes it's a waste of time to check if something is true or not. Because the question is, did your girlfriend wore a pink t-shirt yesterday? Is not something that means anything for me. And why do I, like, do you understand like how long I can waste on trying to figure out what your girlfriend was wearing yesterday? What for? It's like if you are motivated by if something is true or not, you can also get easily distracted. This is why in the West it's so popular to talk about Israel good or bad. My question is like, who cares? Like, why do you care? Right? Like, what? That's a waste of time. It literally is a waste of time. But they never manage to figure out it's a waste of time because they don't have like all they ask is true or false. So they waste their time on bullshit. And that's the vulnerability you can use. And then it's like, whether Israel is good or bad depends on whether you believe in Tawhid, which everybody is supposed to follow the same symbol and have no borders and unified world, or it depends on the thing that you think is better because it fits your mental illness or your value system more. That's the two options. Right. If you have mental illness, Israel is bad. If you have a value system that's good for society in general and and brings prosperity, life, and everything that's good and nice, then you're pro-Israel. It's not that difficult, but it's gonna be stupid to ignore the fact that some people are mentally ill. So, is it true or not? Is like but what the fuck? How do you judge that if somebody in front of you is mentally ill? Stupid question. It's like asking like what's good, is being alive is good or bad, right? Which is also like the abortion question. Well, if you want to not be alive, like how can I argue with that? And vice versa, like where is the truth or false here? I was like, no wonder you go nowhere. Stupid arguments. Like you need to have some sort of like a basic understanding of your value system before you argue on anything. So, and then I tell people, listen, like the question, is it true or false, is weak. And then people argue, it's like, oh, you have to like true or false, and this is very important. It's important if you have, if you're the only way, because your thinking is like, oh, is the question true or false important? And then your question is, is it true or is it false? Which means that you are stuck in the binary, and that it means that in your mind, it means, yes, of course it's important. Because that's not because it's true. It's just because you are limited in your thinking. There is more than one way to reason, yes. One way that works and one way that doesn't. How about that? So what are you guys even talking about? Oh, that's nice. Look, good news, everybody. Elon Musk no longer following Marionov. Now it's a question, right? Is it true or false? Well, it makes me happy, so I accept it as true because I don't effing care. I like it. I like the thought. Maybe I'm gonna follow him in it. Like, this is the thing, right? Maybe he unfollowed him by mistake. But that's the, like, why? Does it matter? No, it doesn't matter. So let me be happy for 1 second and then I forget about it in a second anyway. That's why the question, is it true or false, is so limited. Because it could be false in a second. Harbinger Zero, thank you so much for your support. No one has ever hated Jews. They've hated Jewish money and influence. It's a different value system. You see, you have to have some sort of a mental illness to not love money. Well, like, money is neutral. What's wrong if it's Jewish, if it's Muslim? I want money. And it's like, what Jewish money? It's like you choose what you do with money, right? And you can also say no to money. That's the problem. You say, why do you hate Jewish money? If you take somebody's money, you give them influence. That's how it works. You say no, you don't give them. I was like, you see, you need to be an idiot not to love money. Money is money. Money is neutral. I love money. I also love cake. Does it mean I need to eat cake all the time? Every time somebody offers a cake, I need to eat it? No, I'm going to get diabetes and I'm going to get fat. What's not like, money is money. Cake is cake, okay? I was like, no one ever ate. No, people just don't want to admit that they can say no to a cake. That's their problem, right? Like, oh no, there is a cake. There is nothing I could have done. It was completely out of my control. You know, if there is a cake, I have to eat it. It's not my fault. I have no. You're like, what do you mean? What do you mean? You know you are allergic to whatever is in the cake. Could you not stop yourself from dying, you idiot? No, I said there is a cake. I need to eat cake. I have no. What? No. So if you have problems with Jewish money and influence, then the problem is that the fact that you don't have to take, money is money. You don't have to take it. You say no. You say, no, thank you, Jew. Keep this money is not healthy for me because it gives you the influence. I don't want you to give that influence over me. So I say, no, Jew. No, Jew, no money. Don't give me money, Jew. And also, money doesn't have a value. You need to have an entire system, money? Like, it's just like metal or what? Like, what? It's like, does it have any value? All by itself? No. It's like, I was like, it means that it's connected to something, right? Like, why do they have money? The problem is some offer something of value, like chips that work on your phone and stuff. That's why they got the money. And you want the phone, you want the iPhone that the Jews create, or you want the disk on key and or the nukes or the technology, but you don't want them to. And then you pay them, and you're like, and then you're like, and then you want to, you want to get your money back and the product at the same time. So no, I'm dying. Like, it's like it comes with the same, is it true or not? This is like, it's like, this is when you think, it's like, okay, I'm sorry. Your questioning style is limited. Your thinking is limited. You don't have agency. Clearly, you're lacking in some sort of way. I was like, why do you have a superiority? I'm sorry, looking at, like, if somebody thinks like that, it's like, I'm sorry that I feel superior. If you cannot control yourself when you see a cake, I feel like you are an animal. What can I do? Yes, it's like, if you see a cake and you have no self-control, no matter if there's something you're allergic to it in it, because cake is yummy, then I'm sorry, it's very hard for me not to think that you are like not much more developed than a dog. Excelio Timers, now you have. Thank you so much for your super chat. Yes, now I have so many. I am being Jewish. What do you want? Like, it's like literally like, oh no, like the Jews think we're animals. No shit, Sherlock. Then behave not like an animal. Like, prove differently. We really want to change the minds. Like, we don't think in terms of true or false in the, it's like, right now you behave in a manner that resembles an animal because you have no self-control. No agency, no brains, no responsibility. Sounds like an animal to me, from how I understand it from my humble position and understanding of the world. I mean, to prove, like, to show that you can be different. I think you be different, okay? Is it my fault you act like an animal? Or is it my fault? You choose. I give you the option. And then it's like, I make and then there is a force. And then it's like, oh, you give me the power to make the decision if you're an animal or not by giving me the power to decide what the rules are. Then you're a slave. So you're either a slave or an animal. But in whatever is, something is wrong. And I give you the option. You can do better. I believe in you. Honestly, like, what do you want? Like, Jews think we're animals. Then stop being animals. What do you want from me? It's my fault. Why is it my fault? Like, why? I try. Like, if a man cannot keep his thing inside his pants, he's an animal. I'm sorry, he's an animal. And I say that not as a Jew, I say it as a woman, okay? That's the difference, okay? This is why when the definition for rape in Israel is, if she says no, you put it back. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what position it was. It doesn't matter what you want. You put it back because that's what makes you not an animal. This is why this is the law in Israel. There we have expectation. We believe men are humans, and if they hear no, it doesn't matter what situation the thing was at. No. You put it inside and you say no. Okay, I understand. And then I was like, yes, thank you for the banana. This is exactly what we're talking about here. That's the banana situation. Thank you. Like what? What? I was like, you cannot control yourself? Then you're an animal. What do you want? I was like, what? And I say it as a woman, not as a Jew, as a woman, okay? As a woman. Put it back, like, put it back to your pants, put your pants back on and then shove it inside. That's what. And speaking of bananas, right? Like this is why this is the definition in the law in Israel. Why? Because this is what we expect. We expect men in Israel, we expect them to be humans that can control. I don't know. It's just the way it is. It's like you don't like if you're like oh no, the cake lives like for example, yes, in another situation, maybe it's gonna make you understand. So let's say I eat cake, and this time this is where women tend to lose control, and then the person in front of me, which I like for some reason, says, "Hey, I also want to try this cake." I don't say, but I'm in the middle of eating the cake, and I was like, no, I say like, here you go, have the rest of the cake, because also I'm a human, I can stop eating cake because I respect you. Whatever. Exactly, I give you two good options. Good options. Control your thing or, okay, again, let's say, right, that you want, and then they say no, you put back, okay, inside pants, you respect, take distance, okay? Otherwise, in the law in Israel, because we expect people to be humans, you get accused of, and you can get legally, okay? That's what makes us different from our neighbors in Syria, where they cannot control, cannot because they're animals. They act like animals, they are animals, everybody knows, and for some reason when we were very nice and we were telling Germans really listen, like, you know how the Jews like didn't go around and rape you after you put that things in ghettos? It's because we have self-control and we are not animals. Like, so the people you bring from Syria, not like this. They're gonna rape you. No self-control, animals. Oh, you're being racist. I mean, okay, fine. No, come on. Fine, okay. Well, there you go. Welcome. We told you, no listen. Okay, no listen. No listen, you get raped. So, okay, fine. What do you want? It's not my fault. I tell you, this is what it is. Believe me, we tried to change them. We tried. Listen, man, respect. Don't put it back in. Didn't work. Doesn't work, okay? Doesn't. We try. It's not that we accepted reality. I said we tried, okay? Not worked, didn't work. There is some issue there. You need to enforce the law. Keep him with a leash that has like electricity, because sometimes they have teeth. You need choker that can just something chemical, whatever you do, something needs to. Okay, same with cake. Cannot see cake, cannot control yourself. You have diabetes. I'm sorry. You are an animal. Again, okay. Okay. It's okay. You didn't notice. It happens, and you apologize. You take responsibilities, and you say, "Oh no, somebody offered me a cake. I could not say no." Then you must be at least something. I don't know. Maybe a slave. I don't know. We chose two good options: slave or animal. Which one? What else? Next, right? Let's say somebody comes and offers you money, and then because they give you money, they have influence over you. Jew shekels, exactly. Somebody comes, gives you shekels, right? Where is it? Here. Perfect. Shekels. Somebody come give you shekels. Here's the option. You say, what is this money for? Do I agree with it? Not agree with it. Is this money for me because I entertain you? I do it. I enjoy it. I think this is what I want to do. We are free people. We are exchanging, right? Okay. If you now send me shekels and tell me, for example, you give me instruction and something that I don't want to do, it means I'm a whore if I accept it, okay? Now, like so actually maybe not two good options, three good options, decide, okay? You're either an animal, a slave, or a whore. Three good options. Now, everyone's like, What do you want? Okay. Like it is what it is. Like. What can I tell you? Okay. And for some reason, all those people who complain about Jews saying shit about like whatever them, they always are one of those. They're either slaves or whores or animals, and usually all of them. And I was like, what do you want? Prose differently, okay? And I was like, of course, shekel is good. I love shekel. No strings attached. I love shekels. Probably 100%. It's just, it's now. So if you guys ask like what happens when the Jew meets a goy and there are not a whore or slaves or an animal, well then they're Jews. They must have Jewish soul. That's the other option. Which is why Judaism is like, okay, you were probably there with us. You accepted the laws of the Ten Commandments. You just like your soul got lost between the goys. See, we have a completely rational explanation for what happens when we meet a goy and suddenly it's not any of those. Okay. You are like Jewish enough. It's our club. We decide the rules, okay? We decide. Jew adjacent, you're not any of that. You get honorary Jew degree. Like people like, for example, James Lindsay, people like Douglas Murray. Yeah, they go to they are welcome in the synagogue every Saturday. It's like Jew. It's we make the rules, okay? We make the rules. This is the fun part. But it's if we or we are like, okay, fine. So during the Talmud time, the Jews just didn't meet a goy yet that answered the criteria of not being one of those. So they just described what they saw at the time. Obviously, it didn't help. There are a lot of solutions. Because we don't fix it. We don't think that the world has to be the way it is. We believe like maybe we convince the Jews, maybe we show them, like maybe some maybe we like there are a lot of like, and some guys are like righteous. And the Talmud talks a lot about righteous Jews, right? Righteous guys. Why it happens? Yes. You know what? Yeah, exactly. That explains why everyone loved you in Israel. By the way, there is another thing about Jewish statements. They're not absolute. Usually, Jews just decide that the statement they go with is just the more likely scenario. So if like Jews say something like in general, like in Talmud, okay, men do business, right? Jews don't read it as women don't do business. They read it as it's usually the man. But when women do it, great. It's like it's not something that is mandatory. Just like Judaism goes a lot of times with their statements, they just go with majority rule. So it's not like it's the thing, right? This is what happens when you have people who only think in black and white, true or false, meeting people with that see truth as there is what's in front of you, and it's, you know, it's a that's where we start the negotiations. This is the base for negotiation, you know. Reasonable, yes. But like, here's the thing, like, you know, that the Jews like really look forward to. Yeah, probability is more likely accurate than absolute, but you always need to keep in mind that it's probability. First, why did Israel get rid of all the 7-Elevens? Have you been? I've never seen a 7-Eleven in Israel, so I have no idea. I'm sorry. I fear I have no knowledge in the matter. What is the last thing I wanted to end up with? There's something I had in mind which I thought was kind of important. What was it? Forgot. Yay. Definitely, Israel is an awesome country. Everybody should go. I'm biased because I have friends there, but it's still a great place. No. I mean, Israel is awesome. It's real fun. Is Israel, I mean, it's home. You know what what's the joke is? It's like when it comes to marriage. You need to learn to love what you got and not necessarily get what you love. Oh yeah, I remembered what. Okay, now that I remember what was the last point I wanted to make, I'm gonna finish with that. Is that I'm really looking forward to the day where when somebody complains about Jewish influence and money, the answer would just be nobody's forcing you to take that money, and that's it. Like, not true or false, not do they do it, not do they, just, you don't have to. You're not, nobody's forcing you. You have agency and you can decide for yourself what's the right course for you. There are temptations everywhere, and not all of them would lead you down a good path. And there are many forms in which they appear. That's it, that's all. Exactly. All right, everybody. Time to go to sleep. Good night. I have to go to the car fixing place tomorrow early in the morning. It's gonna be fun. Okay. See you. Why tempt? That's the thing. This is why you have why put snakes in our Garden of Eve? Obviously, God loves just messing with us. I think you should blame God, actually. I think that's the thing. Maybe blaming God is the solution. Okay, bye-bye. Good night, everybody.